Breakfast on Dubai Eye on 1.
10 minutes to 8. Good morning.
Currencies on the Business Breakfast
With insurancemarket.ae.
US dollar, let's have a look at how that is faring this morning. Dollar to the Singapore dollar, 135 this morning. Dollar to the Philippine peso, 50.19. Dollar to the Egyptian pound, 15.67. And dollar to the Bangladeshi taka this morning, you get 84.71 Bangladeshi taka for $1.
InsuranceMarket.ae. Get all types of business insurance quickly and easily. Call or WhatsApp 800-ALFRED 24/7. InsuranceMarket.ae.
Join the conversation.
with Richard Dean, Brandy Scott and Tom Urquhart.
You're listening to the Business Breakfast on Dubai Eye on 1.
And this morning's conversation, which is getting quite heated on the old messaging system, is about delivery.
It's the delivery man, but I ain't know that. It's the delivery man, but I ain't know that. It's the delivery man, but I ain't know that.
The RTA is increasing governance of the delivery sector. It's released a new manual setting out rules and responsibility for drivers and the companies that use them. But does it all go far enough? And where does the ultimate responsibility actually lie? We are joined now by Ravi Tharoor, Chief Strategy and Commercial Officer of the last mile delivery company, Ghibli. Ravi, good morning. Thanks so much for speaking to us.
Morning, Brandy. How are you?
Now, you guys work with companies to help them with their last mile logistics. Do you want to give us a very quick idea of the type of businesses that are using you at the moment?
We cater to food, non-food, e-commerce, and other verticals that need last mile deliveries.
So you will have, presumably, like me, read this 17-page manual here, which covers everything from driver age limit, 55 the cutoff, to lane discipline. Does the industry need more rules?
Yes, Brandy, it's an important step in the right direction, and I'll expand on that. It's important because to organize, to put a structure around the delivery management process and to improve the ecosystem, we need some sort of regulation, and RTA's guidelines are very appropriate.
What's wrong with the industry at the moment, Ravi?
It's unorganized to some extent, and to bring the unorganized sector into a formal economy would be a good step.
What do you mean by unorganized?
There are lots of drivers, riders who don't fall in the organized sector. They work on visas that are not sponsored by the company. So in that sense, there's a parallel economy, and RTA has done the right thing by issuing the guidelines and bringing them into the proper economy.
Whose fault is that, though? Is that the riders, or is that the companies that are using them without the proper visas?
It should be the company's responsibility, and I mean, if you look at what Careem and Uber did to the taxi industry, last mile delivery partners should be doing the same.
Which is what? Standardizing it?
More structure around the delivery management process, more structure around how they're employed and how they're trained, and the service quality.
Right. So where are we at the moment? Let's talk about, well, safety has been the big discussion on our messaging system. Where are we at the moment, and what needs to change?
I think RTA's training, I mean, we do our own in-house training, and we take them through the training process in terms of safety and food delivery, especially with the COVID pandemic situation, hands-free or safe distances. So safety in terms of driving is very important. If you see the proliferation of bikes, cars, and vans, which cater to the last mile industry, how they drive, and hopefully we get to see a better structure prevail.
Are companies investing enough across the board in training?
Yes, absolutely. We have a training school within our infrastructure. And we see that RTA wants to introduce a training session, which is very welcome. And companies in similar industry are doing what they need to do.
One of the questions that we've had in this morning, I'm going to put it to you. Do you incentivize your drivers on the number of deliveries that they make or the time it takes to do them? Does that affect their pay, their tips at all?
Absolutely, we have to incentivize. If you look at if you want to improve the efficiency rates, if you want to improve their own the riders' payout, we do incentivize them.
How do you do that? Can you give me an idea of that structure?
Incentivize them. We have a structure where we pay a basic salary till a certain number of deliveries, and then we incentivize them to do more. So if you look at the efficiency rates, we need to have a structure where the driver does X number of deliveries, and then the efficiency rate improves as they deliver more.
How do you make sure, though, that they're not cutting corners, driving recklessly, etc., in order to make more money?
We have the technology that we have in place. And monitors every step of the delivery process. So we know how long it takes for them to reach the restaurant. We track them. There is a geo coordinates that is sent back to the system. And we know they're not driving fast because we measure the distance between the delivery, pickup, and drop location.
But is there not going to be a worry that people looking to earn money, and not a huge amount of it, send it home, look after their families, are going to try to push as many deliveries into as short a spaces as possible, and that could have an effect on safety?
That's the thought process, Brandy. I mean, everybody thinks that, but we know from the experience we have for the past 4 years, we know exactly how many deliveries can be done by driving safe. So we encourage our riders and drivers to do what is required to drive safe and be safe.
What about the uniforms, which is something that this handbook addresses, safety in terms of the gear that the riders are wearing? Are we doing enough about that, and what needs to happen?
Yes, we are. We are constantly looking at how we can improve their uniforms and sort of add to the safety measure in terms of knee guards, elbow guards, gloves, and the quality of the fabric that goes into the uniform.
And we've got a couple of questions coming in for you, and I thank you for being here to answer them. Someone's asking, what is the basic pay for one of your drivers? We're looking at about, if you look at base pay in 3,500 to 4,000 range plus incentives. So we have riders and drivers making a very good number by the end of the month. And how much can the incentives increase that pay? Double it?
You can double it.
Someone else asking, do the drivers get to keep their tips?
Yes, they do.
Someone else asking about, could you define the training? Is it just a one-off, or is it continuous? How often do your drivers actually get trained?
We bring them in. It's a continuous process. Sorry to cut you off. We bring them in on a monthly basis, depending on their performance. If they're performing well, then we do every quarter. We bring them into the training room, explain to them what it is that we've seen across the board, give them the information, give them the service quality levels that we expect them to do. So it's a continuous process. It's not a one-off, once a year training session.
If they're doing well, so is it just the top performers who get the extra training?
No. I'm talking about top performance getting less training and low performance getting more training.
Okay. Before we let you go, and I've just got 1 minute left with you, unfortunately, what else would you like to see? What needs to happen next to, as you say, organise and further improve the industry?
I would expect to see riders and drivers being brought into the formal economy. Training would definitely help. And the guidelines that RTA has issued is definitely in the right direction. We see a lot of points being covered. And we engaged, all stakeholders are engaged with RTA in improving the entire process.
Thank you so much for joining us and for taking those listener questions this morning. We do appreciate it. Ravi Tharoor, Chief Strategy and Commercial Officer of the last mile delivery company Ghibli, speaking to us on what has become our big talking point of the morning. The messages keep rolling in, and please do keep them coming, 4001, or you can message us for free using the ARN Play app. Easy to download. People talking about the responsibility and where it lies for safe delivery, whether that's with the drivers, whether that's with the companies, direct or indirect, third party or having their own drivers, I mean by that, or whether it is with us, the consumers who have grown to expect everything in about 4.5 minutes for next to no cost? Are we creating our own problem there? We'd love to get your take on that this morning.
This is the Business Breakfast on Dubai Eye on One.
There's more.